massive glowing ring stretching across the entire sky instead of a dark sky filled with stars. What it would look like, a bright, enormous, beautiful sky. That's what the Earth would look like if it had rings like the Saturn. But would it just look beautiful, or it would be more of that? So, if Earth had rings, they would be visible almost all the time. During the day, they might appear as faint as the glowing arcs, but at night, they would be astonishing. They would be breathtaking. Huge band of light cutting across the sky from horizon to horizon, and depending on where you are on the Earth and which hemisphere, the view would be completely different. Near the equator, the rings would stretch directly overhead. Near the poles, they would appear closer to the horizon, and every place on the Earth would have a beautiful and unique sky. Here's where the things get serious. Saturn rings are made of ice and rock particles. So the Earth, which had rings, it would not just be beautiful enough, it would have some consequences. They could block some sunlight. That means some regions would get less sunlight compared to the other ones, and the temperatures could be changing and could drop at some place. The climate patterns would also change severely. The certain areas might experience longer shadows or dimmer days, so this could also affect the ecosystem and agriculture. So what about the satellites? Now this is a big problem. There are many satellites around Earth orbiting. So they help us with the GPS, internet communication and everything, right? So if the Earth had rings, those orbits would become very dangerous. Satellites could collide with ring particles moving at high speeds, so this could create a chain of reaction debris. So what would we do? Nothing. Earth just doesn't get rings randomly. But if this was happened in real, then the rings to form something dramatic has to happen. One possibility is that the moon or a large object gets too close and crosses something called the Roche limit. Right? That's what I explained in the previous video. Go out, check at that. At that point, Earth's gravity could tear it apart, and the debris would then spread out, all of them, and it would form a beautiful ring. What is the another possibility for that? A massive collision that shatters an object into the orbit. Either way, it wouldn't be peaceful, but the second probability is more likely not to happen. So what would happen to the oceans and tide changes, right? Earth's tides are mainly controlled by the moon, we all know that. The rings wouldn't have the same effect because they are made of small particles, so tides would not change drastically. But the extra material in orbit could still just slightly affect the gravitational balance. So would that be permanent? Not. Just like the Saturn rings aren't permanent, Earth's ring would also slowly disappear. Particles would fall back to the Earth over time, and this would lead us to see meteors at night much often. So this process could take millions of years accordingly. So if Earth ever had the rings, they would also be temporary, just like Saturn. Here is the something interesting part of it. If Earth had rings, we might not even think it's unusual. We grow up seeing them every day. To us, it would just be a normal. If this is the day we do not have it, and then we think it's something beautiful, right? It's strange to think that something extraordinary could also become very ordinary. Right? So, skies would be more beautiful than anything else we have ever seen at this point. But at the same time, life on Earth would also become complicated. It wouldn't just much at a higher scale, but casually it would like. It would just be a beautiful visual upgrade, and it would change small things about the planet. And Earth will have a beautiful view which was never made for us.